thunderstorm chances Saturday afternoon in your first alert forecast.
And as Riley mentioned, the rain did hold off for the players on this cut day Friday. We got really lucky out there, but that didn't make things a lot easier. Right now, it looks like the cut line will be 3 over, and who makes the cut changed as of November.
Yeah, it used to be top 50 and ties plus 10 shots off the lead. Now it's just top 50 and ties. That makes the Masters cut the most difficult cut of the 4 majors. Sports director Mike Acacciona shows us what a difference that makes.
Yeah, you know, we're in the closing stages of the second round with the top 50 plus ties advancing and a leaderboard where one stroke really makes a difference. This has been wild to watch. Here's the things are stacking up right now. Lots of changes in the last hour, but the top positions have for the most part stabilized. What a great performance from Will Zalatoris and Brian Harmon to move up on the leaderboard. 3 over. That's the top 50 mark and cut line. 2020 champion Dustin Johnson will certainly have some work to do over the next 2 days if he wants to defend his title. Sad news for our local fans. Kevin Kisner will miss the cut after a 5 over performance. A number of other notables, including Rory McIlroy and Lee Westwood, also won't make it to the weekend as the green jacket continues to elude both of them. With scoring being so different today, you never know who you'll see near the top of the leaderboard. Mark Leishman has been in contention for the green jacket in the past, but admits he hasn't been able to adjust his game to the course conditions before. Most players try to not look at the leaderboard, but Leishman takes a very different approach.
I'm a leaderboard watcher. I like to know where I am. Even on Thursday, I'm always watching to see what the leaders are doing. I guess some guys do it, some don't. But as I showed yesterday, you know, so much can happen around here that no matter where you are on the leaderboard, you know, as long as you're somewhere near the top, anything can happen whether you're leading or 5 back. I mean, you go to that back 9 and it's game on.
Game on, moving day. I'm looking forward to it. The second round is still going strong. We'll have a look at some of the other big finishes coming up just a little bit later in sports.
Mike, thanks. As he mentioned, everyone was watching Justin Rose today to see if he could hold on to that impressive lead he carved out after shooting 7 under par on day 1.
And today he did let the rest of the field back in, finishing today's round even, which will keep the weekend pretty interesting. But he's come so close twice as a runner-up in this tournament. Can he hang on to that lead to finally taste Masters victory? It's the 4th time Justin Rose has led after the first round of the Masters. But after his round 1 performance, just 2 shots shy of a course record, patrons are buzzing.
He was playing a different course or on a different planet. He was amazing.
But following his round 1 performance would prove to be pretty tough. He struggled out of the gate, shooting 3 over on the first 9.
It was just a classic day at Augusta National when you're just slightly off. You can be a foot or 2 out on certain occasions and, you know, you end up struggling.
It seemed like he may fall right off of the cliff, but he turned things around to even it out and save par.
I had a little talk with myself on 8, and I said, you know, you're still leading the Masters, and I just changed my mindset a little bit and started to play match play against the golf course.
But patrons are convinced what they saw Thursday was special. Maybe even the mark of a champion.
I can think back to the times where Tiger would go off and Greg Norman had some days, but that was special to watch.
The top of the leaderboard can be nerve-wracking when it's your game to lose. So I asked Justin, how will he clear his mind tonight and stay focused?
My wife's here, and you know, pretty low-key in the house actually. We've got a nice little fire pit that we just sit out there in the evening and just, you know, chat and chill.
And I actually spoke to his wife pretty briefly after the round and asked, so how is this for you? Are you a nervous wreck out here watching this unfold? And she said after 20 years, no, you know, ice in her veins, but to ask her again on the last 3 holes Sunday. So that's understandable.
Yeah, get back with me on Sunday afternoon. But as for Justin, as you pointed out, he's come so close.
So close. Tasting victory. A shootout with Sergio about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Runner-up first. You know, I know he's ready.
And he didn't lose any ground today.
No,
he didn't lose any ground today.
And still the leader.
So that is good to see at 7 under. So he did not run away with it out there today either, and we've been watching him very closely.
That's right. We want to go live to Meredith Anderson at Augusta National, and Meredith, the pros definitely a lot happier with Mother Nature out there today.
Absolutely. When I was heading out to the range this morning, I stopped in the golf shop to buy one of these. I was not the only one making this purchase. We did not end up needing the umbrella, thank goodness. The weather was a lot kinder. That made for a lot kinder golf course for the golfers. On cut day, a green jacket isn't the goal. The focus is just on getting a tee time tomorrow. A lot of buzz this year, but none of the familiar sub-air hums. As hard as it tried to rain today, it never did, leaving just the drone to drone out some of the typical sounds. There wasn't much sun today, not a lot of wind either, so it made the course a little kinder.
A little bit of overcast. It feels like, stay a little bit softer, though they're still bouncy, but just a little bit more give.
Green's not quite as firm or fast, but they were very firm and very fast yesterday.
That doesn't mean today was easy. Not by a long shot, especially compared to 5 months ago.
I feel sorry for the guys that first Masters in November, and then they're walking around out there today wondering what the hell's going on, I'm sure.
Those with experience, however, expected this because Augusta National rewards experience.
It's a magical place out here.
And while you can't win the tournament today, you can most certainly lose it.
That's what's special about this place, is anyone can go low, from the older guys to the younger guys. So it's always a great place to be and a good place to watch some exciting golf.
Take Bryson DeChambeau, for example. Thursday, he showed us the downside of power, hitting the ball over greens. But today, he's been able to get the ball rolling on a comeback. Jordan Spieth also chasing Justin Rose, as is Justin Thomas and Tony Finau.
It was easy, it was for as tough as this place has been playing. I felt like it was as easy as it could have been.
They'll be hanging around the weekend for sure, where scores won't go as low as they did in November.
20 last year, I think probably 10 under is going to be pretty close to the winning score this year.
Setting the stage for a lot of drama come Sunday. Also adding to the drama, the fact that, think about this, it's been a while since all the top 50 players in the world have been able to compete together. There have been injuries, some of them have been out because of COVID, but no, all of them are here competing. So it really is the world's best competing on the world's best golf stage. It is going to be an exciting weekend out here for sure.
And we all love when the top of the leaderboard makes it exciting for the weekend. So it is shaping up to be just that. Thank you for that, Meredith.
As we know, anything can happen out there. So what about course conditions? That's going to play a big role in all of this drama.
That's right. First Alert meteorologist Anthony Carpino live now in the studio with what we can expect going into tomorrow.
Maybe 6 miles per hour here in Augusta. That will increase as we go through the afternoon, especially with the chance for some line of showers that will move through. We could see some gustier conditions as well. Winds expected to be anywhere from about 10 to 15 coming out of the south-southwest. Same story as we go through Sunday afternoon, so this weekend still is looking to be on the breezier side. As we go through tomorrow, we are expecting a chance for those showers and temperatures into the lower 80s. Riley's going to have much more in the full forecast. Guys, back to you.
Anthony, thanks so much. Also in the news, Georgia's new voting law making headlines across the country, sparking calls for possible boycotts of some major Georgia-based corporations.
And we're learning those efforts are coming to Augusta tomorrow for a rally on Washington Road and Berkmans Road right outside of Augusta National. That's where we find News 12's Sydney Heiberger. Sydney, what can you tell us with such short notice about this rally?
Well, Laura, as we saw with protests previously over the summer, there's some different rules that they must follow per Richmond County guidelines. For instance, protests larger than 50 people must get a permit from the sheriff's office. Organizers for tomorrow's protest tell me they did not get a protest permit, but they found some ways to make sure their voices tomorrow are heard anyway. The rules are simple.
They can do a protest. It just can't be more than 50 people.
The faith leaders organizing this protest told deputies if the gathering ends up exceeding 50 people, they'll protest in shifts to ensure compliance with the county ordinance.
It exceeds 50 people. First of all, I don't believe it will, but if it does, we'll have to disperse the people, and I think you'll see that they'll disperse peacefully.
And peacefully is exactly how Bishop Reginald Jackson says he plans for this rally to go.
It will not be obstructive. It will not be aggravating. It's just going to be a nice, sweet rally.
But Richmond County deputies say they'll be there and they'll be ready.
So we got plenty of resources, so if there were issues, then we could mobilize.
Bishop Jackson says he wants individual golfers and tournament leaders to speak out against Senate Bill 202. The goal is not to overturn the law in Georgia legislature, but to discourage other states from passing similar bills. He also hopes the attention will encourage the federal government to pass a law that would render the voting bill unconstitutional.
So we're hoping, one, if we can get these corporate executives, for example, to speak out, you may be able to affect whether or not this legislation passes. in these 45 states and 361 bills dealing with voting.
Now, this upcoming Tuesday, Georgia faith leaders are going to meet with major companies' CEOs to discuss their response to the voting bill, and they tell me after that meeting, that's when they're going to decide if they're going to encourage a boycott.
Okay, thanks, Sydney. Certainly a lot of eyes and ears on this. In this week's Chairman's Conference, Augusta National Chairman Fred Ridley did say he supports everyone's right to vote and no one should be disadvantaged from that. Reginald Jackson says, though, it's not enough.
Well, still to come this evening, the search is on for a Columbia County District Attorney after that county split from the Augusta Circuit. So will another DA in the mix help the backlog of court cases? We asked the experts.
Plus, we told you about this dairy-free pimento cheese. Say what? Now we are meeting the Augusta local behind this idea. Riley?
Well, we've been tracking a few remaining in the 80s into next week.
Riley, thank you. Columbia County now accepting applications for a district attorney after its recent split from the Augusta Judicial Circuit.
With a backlog of court cases already piled up because of the pandemic, we wanted to know if this split might speed things up or maybe slow them down even further. News 12's Celeste Springer is right outside of the Augusta Judicial Center with what local lawyers think.
After a break because of COVID cases spiking, jury trials and selection are back up and running. We talked to lawyers about how things are going and what they expect to see as Columbia County moves out. Jury trials are back, but curious eyes will still need to tune in virtually.
But although we're dealing with new situations, it's still the same court system.
Those awaiting their day in court still have to wait in line.
Detainment takes priority, and then you also have to look at what type of charge and how long that person has been in custody.
It's causing issues not only in criminal court, but civil too.
On the civil side, it's wreaked havoc because the criminal cases obviously take precedent. You have families that have huge mountains of medical bills, bills to pay during periods of time when they couldn't work.
When the pandemic hit, more than 24,000 court cases were put on hold. The new DA reigning over Columbia County will be taking some of those over. Attorneys are hopeful this transition will actually speed things up in Augusta.
As far as the remaining two counties in the existing Augusta Judicial Circuit, I would expect even less of a delay on their end because it would just be a matter of transferring cases that they currently have that would no longer be in their jurisdiction.
And the Hawk Law Group says they're ready to close some cases.
We're going to work very hard to get the cases done.
Former District Attorney Natalie Payne and former U.S. Attorney Bobby Christine tell us they have full intentions on applying to be Columbia County's next DA. Governor Kemp will be in charge of that decision, and applications are due next Thursday. In Augusta, Celeste Springer on your side.
We also reached out to current District Attorney Williams about how things are moving forward with the judicial split. He told us he does not have a comment at this time.
Pimento cheese and golf go hand in hand pretty much here in Augusta. Now one local woman is making sure everyone has the chance to dig in. Check it out. You're looking at her pimento cheese. It is made without dairy. That means if you're lactose intolerant or vegan or just don't like cheese, then this is for you. Ashley Willis is the woman behind the recipe. She was born and raised right here in Augusta, so she knows all about pimento cheese, and she says that got the ball rolling for this idea.
But I really enjoy having pimento cheese Masters Week, and it's a local staple. It's also a southern dish, and so I didn't want to miss out. So I decided to create a recipe that I could share with my friends and family, and it just took off from there.
Willis says the response to pimento cheese has been overwhelming. She's planning a pop-up pickup sometime within the next month, and you can check out their social media accounts for updates.
I think a taste test is definitely in order on that.
I'm just wondering, so what's in it if it's not cheese?
What is in the mystery? All right, so it's been a wild day on the leaderboard at Augusta National. Almost half the field below par today. We're going to hear from some of the biggest performers. Next in sports.
Industries.com.
What do women want? Gentlemen, pay attention.
Check us out online, southernindustries.com.
What do women want? Gentlemen, pay attention.
Customers, right here at 259 Bobby Jones Expressway. Check us out online, southernindustries.com.
What do women want? Gentlemen, pay attention. Let's get this straight. When your car does all the talking on the first date, there probably won't be a second date. Enough about your fully optimized speakers. Just play some good music, silly. And sorry, but corn dogs, beers, and baseball are not going to get you a home run. See? We're not so complicated. We always respond to the little things. You know, the sparkly things.
The Live Eye Camera Network is brought to you by Mountaineer Pest Services.
Much like yesterday, folks, pace is playing a bit slower than we'd like it to. Unfortunately, can't show you any highlights just yet. But unlike yesterday, a much better portion of the field was under par, 40 players today compared to 12 yesterday. And sometimes playing along better competition brings out better scores. It goes without saying you don't want to be the one guy in the group who's struggling to hit your shots and slowing up the entire group. It's not fun to play slow, and it adds negative pressure on the worst player. Playing golf in a group that's playing well is a lot like playing horse. You don't want to miss and fall behind. Justin Thomas and Tony Finau played in the same group today, and collectively, they were 11 under par. Both golfers said the other's good play was able to help them have a better round.
It was a lot different. I made eagle on 2 and had some good vibes going early. I think JT kind of added to that, and we fed off each other, and both played really nicely today. So I think we learned a little bit about the golf course yesterday and how firm it was. It was a little bit more gettable, I felt like, this morning, and I was able to string together some nice golf.
Yeah, it definitely is better than, when the group Mo was low. I mean, he was making it look very easy as well. He made a couple putts, but I mean, it seemed pretty effortless to be, what was he, 6 under through 10 or something like that. So, yeah, we best balled it pretty nicely today.
Here's to hoping we continue to see more great performances as we move into the weekend. I've had a number of patrons come up to me and ask where Jordan Spieth is on the course throughout the practice round. To say he's a fan favorite is an understatement. After he picked up his first win in over 3 years last weekend, the Spieth hype has been incredibly high. Players have noticed it, and his play is certainly showing it. Spieth is going to be in the heart of the race to win his second green jacket. Jordan's been prioritizing the little things, and it's certainly been paying dividends.
Still, there's more good ones than there was a month ago, and there were more then than there was the month before that. So I'm not in a place where I can say, I'm standing up and just striping, but I'm in a place where I've got it to where I can manage it, and I can manage around this golf course, and if it can just get 1% better each day here on in, that leaves me with a pretty good opportunity, I think.
And after today's round, the hype is only going to get bigger with him in the top 5. We will have highlights coming up later tonight, folks. Can't wait to share some of the best action from the second day of the tournament. And Riley, moving day looks like it could be much different too in terms of the weather.
Absolutely. We are anticipating those storms to show